Here we are again now with reading number 14 of Molasses Moon. Okay, get ready here. We're going into chapter 8 of Qualmlessness. You ready? I'm not sure I am. It's a overcast day today. I don't know if it wants to rain or snow or sleet, but there's not any sun. It's nice though. It's a nice cool instead of frigid in winter. So we'll see if that connects with part of the reading today. Did you notice chapter 7 is Impurity Pact with sidetracks, qualms, and idioms? The impurities do belong. I keep saying this. I feel like a trial lawyer fending off objections. Your Honor, bear with me. I could describe my technique, elaborating, expanding, and playing with the present to put off the future until it perfects itself and caves in on you. This procedure would not hold up in a court of law. I hope you're enjoying traveling with me in my extended illegal journey in the now. Watch your head. The roof, skies, not too dependable. I'm beginning to wonder about the ground too. Excuse me, I have an itch on my nose. Clouds aren't always there where, when you want them either. I've said I hate laws and gravity. I do and I don't. They have their uses. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Nor would this attic. Nor would I have butt bounced down the stairs. But, Your Honor, nonfiction doesn't often offer renegade, imaginary vacation sailing. Okay, let me start over with that one. Nonfiction doesn't often offer renegade, imaginary vacation sailing through quantum mechanics for under $30. Usually you plod through good housekeeping approved books for under $30 and still don't know what they're talking about. So don't complain about my mad bouncing around from subject to subject. I'm more coherent and comprehensible than legal science text. You should feel pampered. You're getting your money's worth. At least I sincerely hope so. But to show you I can get back to the main subject once in a while, I'll tell you the story of Tom discovering my brainwave presence. I do have one. It's legal too, as far as I know. The discovery was similar to my noting of his. He heard it when it was abruptly dismissed. It wasn't a sunny summer afternoon. It wasn't a sunny summer Sunday afternoon. It was actually a sunny winter Monday morning. We were taking a half-day holiday, tossing routine to the wind, avoiding responsibilities, hopefully not developing a tragedy, taking a short sidetrack, enjoying a four-wheel drive jaunt over some crusty snow on the prairies beyond Rockville. Tom doesn't like to set the four-wheel capacity until we get stuck and absolutely cannot get out with only two wheels working. It has to do with challenging his skills. What I dislike is that my qualms start multiplying, at times exploding, during his pushing the limits modes. What if we can't get unstuck, even with four wheels working? What if we have to walk home? Remember, I'm the lazy one. Tom's the buzzwizzer. He often takes a whiz in the sagebrush if they're beyond the edges of civilization. He stands by the back tire and aims outward 30 degrees. I don't always watch out of my eye's corner. Sometimes I'm finding my own privacy, squatting in a bush. Of course, that crisp, clear day, my calms finally surrounded us, and we got stuck. I was standing outside the pickup, watching and trying to help. Noticing my negativity polluting Tom's efforts, I decided maybe I'd better wander off and quash my qualms. I was tired of the noise of my own insecurities. Each time Tom placed a piece of wood or bark from a tree under a tire, I was thinking, push it under farther, or put one under the other tire too, or some such added garbage. I wasn't saying much to cancel his concentration. The loud thinking was enough. I do know Tom's good at getting out of these types of situations. He's had plenty of practice. I didn't want to practice that type of thing this morning. Honestly, I don't very often want to be forced out of a comfortable cocoon. So, knowing I was a disruption, even with my mouth basically shut, and deciding I was certainly no help, I walked away from the entrenched pickup, around which Tom was happily buzz-whizzing. I made a point of walking far enough into some trees to be invisible to Tom and have him invisible to me. I tried to release my qualms with affirmations. He knows what he's doing. He'll get the pickup out easily, especially with my wacky, unstable presence removed. More relaxed, observing warm sunshine on crisp white snow and lacy pine needles, I forced my thoughts away from Tom's efforts altogether. I began planning what I would do with that day after I got home. Write a query letter. When I heard the Ford burst suddenly and noisily out of the ditch in which it had settled, I began snow-crunching my way back to the pickup. Tom wondered where I'd gone. He had noticed all of a sudden that he couldn't feel my presence at all. We recalled the time I had felt his brain waves plummet to nothing during his nap. Since we're fascinated with quantum theory's seeming exposure of the quirky effects of conscious observation on reality, we got wide-eyed at our ability to notice each other's concentration, its presence or absence. It was a short leap from being aware of another person's mental intensity to seeing how that focus could alter events. Discussing this leap, we recalled occasions when Tom would be solving a mechanical problem on a piece of mining machinery with a flock of workers standing around watching. Some would be focusing strongly on Tom's efforts. Others would be off daydreaming. Of those concentrating on Tom, some would be supporting, however quietly, his methods. Others would be fretting, sometimes in thought only, that won't work. Tom has noticed that the intrusion of an audience can literally change the outcome of his work. He has had to strengthen the field of his own focus in order to block interference and keep his results pure. Sometimes this screening is easy. Sometimes it's impossible. It depends on many factors, among them the intensity of the minds of the onlookers and the strength of Tom's mind and body at the time. When the mind spinner hardheads decide to interject themselves, Tom usually lets them keep the rocks in their heads, since they're so firmly lodged, and follows their instructions. If he's convinced they're wrong, however, or if he really wants to do it his way, he's learned to sometimes edge them over. Your way could work. I'll do this however you want. But how about... Tom and I agree it's the thought-focused observation of the onlookers, or co-mechanics, more than the spoken words, that can alter the outcome of an endeavor. But we're babes in the woods in this purely mental outcome altering capacity. And we're not even babes yet in the capacity to alter the essence of an already existing reality. A is still A. And we can't do anything about it. Yet. Relax, Ayn Rand. I know you can't turn over in your grave since you're not in one. No one's in one after they're dead. They have better things to do. I think, therefore, I am. One day sooner than we think, maybe. We appear to be headed as a species in this direction of mind under matter, or matter under mind, reversing the current mind under matter. I do hope so. The Rose in the Pyramid says so. And I want to believe it. I'm ready to finally burst out of the pit grave and soar without falling from the clouds. Knowing how many qualms I do have, you may not believe this, but I have no worries that once we're at capacity, evil minds could take over. The author of the real laws of physics, whoever or whatever, was likely smart enough to build a safety factor into the development of his fledgling gods, in quotes, if that's what we are. Don't ask me where this factor is, or if it's working when tragedy hits. I don't know. I don't know it all yet. Anyway, I think that evil thoughts and actions negate or at least slow individual development of the mind over matter capacity. The development feeds on right thinking and right action. I'm not speaking of morality here. I'm speaking of right, as in accordance with the true laws of physics. I'm still deciding what evil is, but it would probably have to do with one person forcing himself on another, or stealing from him overtly or covertly, when this force is not necessary to self-preservation. Have you ever noticed that the fewer qualms you have, the less forceful you feel you need to be? Since I value an individual's right to free choice, especially in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, I can't condone force from one person upon another. I do require more thought on this matter. I do believe that freedom to think, choose, want, work, and have is vital to the development of any valuable human capacity, most especially that of mind over matter. Yet it's strange to me that if we originated, as my theory plays, in a place like Kashmir, why are we learning all over again how to mentally manipulate reality? Maybe it has something to do with developing the capacity to do it in a physical reality. The physical factor definitely makes mental manipulation more difficult. How I know it? I know Tom will like this chapter. He likes pondering physics and morality. And like most of us, he likes reading something he can identify with, who couldn't identify with himself. Watch out. I think the roof's beginning to give. You're beginning to see a few things, aren't you? I said beginning to see. Don't worry. I won't be giving a test. Not right away, anyway. I haven't stated the question clearly for myself yet. Pause. Yeah, that feels like a good pause point. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying these readings and that you'll enjoy having a copy of this book. Remember, it's still you who does your thinking, chooses what you believe, and who designs your life, at least to a degree.